Hi, viewers. Today we are at cold chain Vyapaar, Hyderabd. Today we have the president of Rataindia. Exactly, Rataindia started about 70 years back. How this journey was?
So, like any organization, they go through their ups and downs. So, 70 years probably when the country got its freedom, there was a bunch of entrepreneurs who really thought that there was a huge opportunity in the field of air conditioning and refrigeration. And they put an association together. And why not? There is a huge opportunity. India is a tropical country. Initially air conditioning was all about luxury. Only the rich can afford air conditioning. That's not the case anymore. Air conditioning is not just about luxury. It's got to do with productivity. I mean, imagine sitting in a restaurant which has no air conditioner, sitting in a meeting room or sitting in an office. Those things are now unheard of, So why does that air conditioning happen? Because you clearly understand that's all about productivity. Refrigeration is another huge industry. You are talking about farmer suicides. You're talking about farmers not getting their value. Refrigeration industry can play a huge role in this because their produce, more than 50%, gets wasted. And how do you actually prevent that? By bringing in refrigeration near the farm place, which can carry refrigerated all the produce to the marketplace. That's how you increase their income. And that's when the subsidies can come down and the farmers can actually get more value for their produce. So air conditioning and refrigeration is part of a nation building activity. It helps in the development of a country in terms of productivity, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of making sure the farmers get a true value for their money and build an entire ecosystem around it. And the association, when it was built, saw this opportunity. So it actually went through different phases over the last 70 years. We've had our highs and lows. Over the past few years, it has now become a representation for the micro, small and medium enterprises in the field of air conditioning and refrigeration. And what the association is doing is actually bringing these existing entrepreneurs and attracting new entrepreneurs into the industry. We want to help these entrepreneurs scale up their business because there's a huge opportunity. This industry is expected to grow 8 times over the next 2 decades. And that's the opportunity that this country is holding for all these entrepreneurs. So we want to show the right opportunity on how they can increase their business vertically. So if they're in an existing business, how do I go 3 times? How do I go 4 times? Or if I'm in a certain kind of a business, can I go horizontally and add more different kinds of businesses? So if I'm in air conditioning, can I do something in refrigeration? Or if I'm already in refrigeration, can I add 3 more verticals in refrigeration? That's the opportunity that we want to create and also become a meeting point for all entrepreneurs who can learn from each other. And that's the whole purpose of the association, of showcasing the true opportunity and taking advantage of that opportunity.
How come software is going to completely change the environment in the future?
So, typically we come from a mechanical engineering field. So, in a mechanical engineering field, the disruption has been very minimal. Let's say, for example, you take electronics. The most common thing is the television. So you have a CRT television, then you suddenly had the plasma TV, then you had the LED TV. All of them doing the same purpose, but 3 different technologies, completely different from each other. You've not seen that kind of a transformation happening in air conditioning or refrigeration. So if you really look at the entire history, how the air conditioning cycle was actually invented is the same cycle that is being used even today. There have been product improvements, there have been more features, energy efficiency has become, new kind of applications of that cycle has come in. But the basic fundamental technology itself hasn't changed. And that's to any mechanical engineering field. You wouldn't find that disruption having come across in terms of what it was intended to deliver. So where is this change or the disruption going to come? Is going to come with artificial intelligence, IoT, cloud computing, because this whole new environment that has been created with internet, smartphones and cloud computing is definitely going to come and affect also the air conditioning and refrigeration industry. One of the areas is going to have a huge impact is energy efficiency. So if you look at any residential or any commercial application, 60% of the energy consumption comes from an air conditioning or refrigeration. So for an enterprise, 60% is actually their cost, and any savings on that front can add a lot of value. Now that's from a business perspective. Now look at from a country's perspective. We are an energy-starved country. We do not have any energy to meet our requirements for the next probable 20 years. How much ever you produce, you're not going to meet that demand. So there's only one way, and that is energy conservation. You have to save energy whether you like it or not, but still continue to grow. Now that's where this technology can play a big difference. So imagine if you have a device put onto your various equipments, which is actually going to decide how much of energy should be used, and the human interface. So the wastage of energy usually happens when there is a human interface. For example, an air conditioner. 24 degrees is the right temperature. Energy consumption goes up when somebody decides to give it at 22, 21, 18 for his or own requirements of wanting it too cold and everything. That's not the way how to use it. So now imagine if you have an IoT device and you have data analytics and you have artificial intelligence all working around it, it could completely change go up many times without the human interference coming in and still not disrupting its actual deliverable. So if it is supposed to cool the place, it still cools the place, but it uses only the optimum level of energy. And product maintenance, mechanical products require a lot of maintenance. Now, when is the maintenance required? These devices, once connected to the machines, can actually tell you when the machines require a maintenance or when they require a replacement. So over the next decade or so, you're going to see this whole IoT, AI, cloud computing amalgamating with the mechanical part, or which is air conditioning and refrigeration, and it's going to be a different world.
And you are helping out many organizations here. How does the government, so what is the kind of cooperation and what is the kind of encouragement you are getting?
So we strongly believe that the government's role is primarily sensing the opportunity and creating that fair ecosystem for local talent and local entrepreneurs to come up and take advantage of that opportunity. Because there's a larger benefit. Because when these entrepreneurs step in, set up businesses or grow their businesses, you're only paying more taxes, you're only creating more jobs. So it's a purpose that the government can achieve through an economic activity. Now, what the government actually needs to do is reach out to these people and find out what is it that you require to scale your business. That's where they need to interface. Now, we understand the government cannot go to all those 50,000 people who are aspiring to be in this industry, but they can approach one association, which is RATA. And we could actually tell them that these are the challenges that the industry is facing, or these are the hurdles. For simple example, we have a GST, on liquor, which is sin tax, and the same sin tax is added even to the air conditioning industry. So we are also at 28%. So here you are in a very tricky situation whereby you have an industry that is waiting to explode. You are an industry which is dependent on imports, which you want to reduce, so that you can create more jobs here. You want to do make in India, and you want to set up factories and everything, but the aspiration and the approach seems to be disconnected. Imagine if that 28% becomes 18%. Your actual tax collections will grow dramatically because the actual volumes would increase. Now, this is because, not that the government doesn't want to do it, but they're not seeing the bigger picture. They got bigger problems to handle. So interacting with an association like RATA, we can actually bring them closer to these nuances of the small requirements of the industry, which can have catastrophic impact on the industry by itself. That's what we want. We want the government to actually interface with the association just to hear us out. And once you hear us out, you will know exactly what is to be done, and it is completely aligned with your goals. You want to create more jobs, you want to make sure the tax collections go up. Hey, this is the industry that is there, just right place to make all those things happen.
So thank you very much for your time, sir.